This episode of Number Raiders podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 platform to browse, discover, and experience the best events in town, and all in the palm of your hand. From heart-pounding concerts that can make you dance to nail-biting sports games that can keep you on the edge of your seat, SeatGeek has it all. From exclusive deals and personalized recommendations tailored just for you. Use our promo code SRT and get $20 off your first purchase. So join the movement. SeatGeek. Get up, get out, and get tickets. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We are back and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of the Commitment to Excellence podcast. I am your host, Darion of the Nothing But Raiders podcast, and my co-host of the Commitment to Excellence podcast, my guy, Willie from ShakeBack Media Group. What is up, my brother? How you feeling on this Friday night?
Raiders. Does that tell you how I'm feeling on this Friday? This football Friday? Does that tell you? Does it tell you?
It tells me a lot. Ecstatic, man. Being ecstatic about it. So, hey, it's been good that, the Raiders is 1-0. We beat those donkeys, so we beat them boys. Shout out to Broncos Avenue for inboxing me after the preview show that we did, saying good game. Yeah.
We'll take it.
Any quick thoughts about that game before we get into everything, man?
Well, it's always good to start the season out on a winning note.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
A W is a W, and it's just like Vin Diesel said in the movie. What's the movie? The Fast and the Furious.
Right. Yep.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Winning is winning, ladies and gentlemen. Winning is definitely winning. I take it with no problem. Okay, I take it with no problem.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's where we at. We got to win. I don't know if we both predicted that we would win. I can only speak for myself when it comes to this particular part of the show. I can't say definitively that I was 100% convinced that we would win. It was more like it was a hope that we would win, and we did. So with that being said, Darion, I want to throw this on the screen real quick. If you don't mind, let me throw this up there real quick.
Yeah, I don't mind. Go ahead. Take your time, brother. Just one, baby. Ooh, ooh, listen, you about to get the Raider Nation mad with that one.
I mean, we won. What they gonna be mad for? We won.
Yeah, we won. Yeah, so that's true. But before we get into anything Raiders, we definitely want to discuss the Aaron Rodgers injury. Facing him in week 10, we was supposed to face him in week 10. He goes down in the first 4 snaps of a Monday Night Football game that I really thought it turned out to be a really good game. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers going down and the Jets winning that game. So how do you feel about this, Willie? Do you feel like the offensive line was the reason why Aaron Rodgers got hurt? Or was it the turf fault? Or, do you think Aaron Rodgers' career is done? Because me personally, he already put it out there stating that it's not done.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back with a vengeance. So what would be your thoughts on this? Because my initial thoughts was like, goddamn tragedy. Like, what?
Yeah.
I want one thing about me as a Raiders fan. I want to play the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I do, because I even know that our team is like what it is, but I still want us to compete against the best of the best. But what was your initial thoughts when he went down, before we get into any Raider stuff? But before you answer that, shout out to Jack Kenner, shout out to Raider Ben, shout out to Tragedy Turned Trump, and all that. So shout out to all y'all. Make sure y'all share the live, tell a friend, tell a friend. But let me know your thoughts real quick, man.
Yeah, tell somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody else. And when you said tragedy turned triumph,
I already get that word messed up. Don't mind me.
Well, it sounded like you said tragedy turned Trump.
Listen, that's all I'm gonna say.
Triumph. Yeah, triumph. Okay.
One thing about anybody that knows me on this podcast or on any shows that I do, I butcher names badly. Sorry.
Oh no, we good. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. I know the people that people that know you in terms of your shows. I know they know you. I just needed to make sure that I heard you correctly. But anyway, let's get to this Aaron Rodgers thing real quick. You asked the question the question that you asked was it the offensive line's fault? No, it wasn't. It was not the offensive line's fault, because if you go back and look at the tape, it was a 3-step drop. And the reason why we know it was a 3-step drop, and you being an offensive line or offensive coach yourself, having O-line yourself, you know that when the O-line goes to cut the defensive lineman, it's supposed to be a drop or step, get rid of the ball. And it wasn't that, because the offensive lineman, I can't remember if it was Becton or if it was Brown. I think it was Dwayne Brown, cut the kid from Buffalo, but he got right back up. So by the time that he got up, the ball was supposed to have been gone, right?
Right.
So when he goes to spin out of it, I mean, and I'm just like, most other people that saw it, when we first saw it in real time, we were like, yo, this ain't that bad. But then when he sat down, it's like, okay, he might have a little bit of a tweak. But then when they slowed it down and slow motion and saw his calf muscle reverberate, that was like, okay, my gosh, that is a blown tire. That is what that was reminiscent.
I thought it was my first initial was a calf injury. That's what I thought at first, because that's what he had in training camp.
But the way his ankle kind of turned a little bit had me thinking that it was an ankle injury. But let me say this about Aaron Rodgers and whether or not I think he's going to be back. Yeah, I believe he does want to come back. This injury, Darion, has ended a lot of careers. Now we know that medicine and treatment and all that is different today than it was back then. I mean, you think about the people that lost their careers to this injury. Isaiah Thomas, and I mean the real Isaiah Thomas, not that one that's 5'3" and shoots with his left hand. I mean the real Isaiah Thomas.
Boys of Detroit, Isaiah Thomas.
Yes,
basically. Yep,
that one. Then you look at Dan Marino as a quarterback who suffered this same injury. You look at Vinny Testaverde, ironically, who was on the field that night when he played for the Jets and had the same thing happen to him. And if you remember, they had to carry that dude off the field. I mean, he couldn't even put any weight on it. And then you think about what Kobe Bryant did, and then what Kevin Durant was able to do. They were able to come back from it, albeit it's a different sport, yes. But the thing is that the medicine and the treatment and the technology that we've seen in that field has advanced to such a degree to where, okay, an athlete, should they really want to put in the work, can actually come back from this. Here's my concern about Aaron Rodgers. We know he wants to come back because anybody that has won 4 MVPs, right, and has only won one or been to and won only one Super Bowl, as a player who went to the Jets to do something special, you already know what it is. He ain't trying to go out like that. But his age is the difference.
Right. And me personally, and he's not going to go out like that. Let me just say this about Aaron Rodgers. I think this season was really big for him because I think everybody talked about them as Super Bowl contenders. in this situation. They talked about them as Super Bowl contenders, and I wanted to play them in week 10. Yeah. I really wanted to play them in week 10 with Aaron Rodgers. We didn't know what their schedule was going to be like by the time they got to week 10. And I think at the time, I feel like my Raiders would have been up for the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm down for it. I'm down for it. But like Raider Ben just said, torn Achilles at 39 years old, playing QB in the NFL is not good. Agreed. And I just got some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, because I am a big wrestling fan, that The Rock has showed up on SmackDown. God damn it. I'm doing this podcast and my favorite wrestler is on SmackDown right now.
Wait a minute. What is he doing on SmackDown?
Well, this is the stipulation that I have real quick. Now, everybody know about Roman Reigns real quick. Everybody know about Roman Reigns, but he held that belt for the last 3 years and nobody beat him. Mm-hmm. And he had this thing called the Bloodline. Mind you, Roman Reigns and The Rock is cousins. Mm-hmm. The Rock is coming back on SmackDown. That's where Roman Reigns is at. Okay. I'm just giving you a quick preview real quick. The Rock might have to take the belt off of the Roman Reigns himself. Listen, I'm just saying. But you absolutely right, Raider Ben. Jack Kenna, the Jets defense is stout. They are a great defense. So I think they're going to hold them up. So yeah. Yeah. So I'll watch I'll see. I'm getting all the notifications for The Rock. God damn it. But yeah, I don't think his career is done. I really think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back with a vengeance. And as a Raiders fan, I'm kind of happy because we got to go up against Zach Wilson, and we're going to see Zach Wilson in week 10. Yes, we are. We will see Zach Wilson in week 10. What's your thoughts on Zach Wilson real quick?
I think Zach Wilson, and there's been a lot of hoopla about this, whether or not they should go out and get somebody else. I actually don't think that they should. Obviously, with Zach Wilson and them taking him number 2 overall in the draft a few years ago,
right?
They had to have seen something there to go out there and get that kid at that spot. So all of a sudden, you don't just forget how to throw the football anymore. You just don't do that. I think he had a serious lack of confidence and a lack of maturity. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers being in the building has actually set him up for success in terms of his mindset. I don't think the kid has really gotten the fairest of shakes, but now, he has to show at least a semblance as to why they drafted him that high. He ain't got to go out there and be Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, or no, not the current Russell Wilson, the old Russell Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, he ain't got to go out there and be Tua or Josh Allen, or I kind of hope he does beat Josh Allen when he plays against us, because that dude turns the ball over. We'll get to that later in the show. But I think for him, unfortunately, they're going to be against the Cowboys, who I hope they destroy, by the way. But I think they have the recipe to do it, because they can run the ball. They got 3 very, very capable running backs. And the Dallas defense, if they have a weakness, it is against the run. So I think this could be one of those games where they run the ball like Philadelphia did last night. Looking at 35 to 40 carries, and this dude might only have like 17 passes, but then when he drops back on 12 of them, they're going to be play action. So I think if they can harness that and get him out of the pocket, which is a strength of his, then they should be okay.
Yeah, they should be okay, but I'm really looking forward to week 10 now. Hopefully Zach Wilson not play too well, but I wish the best for the Jets. I wish the best, and we'll see them in week 10. We did do our kind of like a week 1 wrap up. No, I'm beating Denver 17-16, and I told a lot of people this. I understand that it's only a 1-point win, but you know what the first thing they did when I first came on to the live stream, bro? Oh, Derek Carr won by 1. I'm like, that's the first thing y'all come into a live stream and say, oh, Derek Carr beat the Titans by 1. And look what we do. We beat the Broncos by 1. Almost at the same identical score.
But you know what, though? This is what, again, I'm a Derek Carr fan. I hope and I think he will do very, very well in New Orleans. He's got a defense, something that he has never had with us. But here's the thing I want people to think about when they talk about Derek Carr like that. And I saw this, it It was one of those like insider, like what do you call it?
Inside the NFL, the real.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
yeah, but he basically took charge and was like, "Yo, give me a chance to hit this kid going long." And he told him, "Dude, just run." And he put the ball in a perfect spot, and that sealed the game for him. And then you fast forward it, 4 hours or whatever it was, 3 hours.
And you see Jimmy Garoppolo do the goddamn same thing and runs for a first down to get the win. That is, you know what? I think the NFL set it up like that. I really think so.
Oh no! Don't tell me you're a conspiracy theorist when it comes to this stuff.
When
too.
it comes to the NFL and the Raiders, absolutely.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you there.
Absolutely. When it comes to us, like it's mad conspiracies with the NFL. Like it's just crazy how both teams won by one, and it's new eras in two different teams at that point. But mad, glad, or sad. Let's name two things about the offense, defense, and special teams. And the special team had to run through these gauntlets of emotions. So mad, glad, or sad. So
well,
I'm just going off what the topic said according to you. Okay, now y'all know that Willie is the one that do the topics for this show now.
I am a content creator.
Yeah, that's the true version of a content creator. Agreed.
So mad, glad, sad. Two things from the offense, defense, and the special teams. For the offense, I was glad at the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo did not get injured. That made me very glad. What made me
you was going that route. I knew you was going that route.
Right. And what also made me glad was the fact that he actually was the reason why we won the game, which is so opposite of what we've seen from him in the past, where he has been the in spite of, right?
Right.
So he actually was the reason why we won the game, or the main reason why we won the game.
Right.
And I don't think, and if we would have lost, I don't think he would have been the reason why we lost it, which is most important. So those two things on offense made me glad.
Okay.
What made me sad was the fact that Devontae was like totally not in sync with Jimmy G in this first game. And that could be because of a myriad of reasons, because they may have been bracketing him or whatever. You don't see that stuff on TV. You have to go back and watch other clips of it from the sources. But I'm thinking that there's no way that Patrick Surtain shut him down all over the field like that to hold him to only 4 targets or 2 catches or whatever it was.
Yeah, about two catches.
Yeah. So that made me sad. What else made me sad was Josh Jacobs. He looked to be not in the form that I'm just hoping that he is not going to go down to some stupid soft tissue injury, because he looked like he did not have all of his oomph with him in game one. And I understand that he didn't participate in training camp, he didn't participate in preseason, and that's going to hopefully come. But again, that's what made me sad. And then what made me mad about the offense, why in the world is Hunter Renfrow not being used in the way that he should be used? That made me mad. And it makes me think, are they really trying to get rid of this dude at this point? That made me mad. And what also else made me mad was the fact that for the offense, I would like to see more road grading up front to open the holes and push people around for that running game to get going, because Jimmy G is going to definitely need that. Those are my mad, glad, and sads for the offense. You up?
So my two mads is very simple things, because I'm a football coach, so I really get into the small things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Tillery again. On third down situations where we could get them off the field. And there's this one slogan that I say on every live stream. If y'all know me when I do the Nothing But Raider podcast, or I do the live streams, when the ball move, you move.
Not before that.
But what makes me cringe about this situation is that you're right over the ball. Why are you listening to a cadence, a hard count, and the ball didn't move? That's the part I did not understand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my mads. Number 2, Luke Masterson's roughing the kicker. Now, you know,
Oh my God.
as a football player, especially in the NFL, you have to go across the body and not under the body.
Mm-hmm.
And that forced them to get a first down. So that's 2 on the defensive side that I had an issue with. Really didn't have no issues with anything on the offense side of the ball, but if I were to do an honorable I'm not going to. No, if I'm gonna do an honorable mention for Matt is the offensive line, running wise, because I feel like Jacob was trying to get back to his form,
Mm-hmm.
but the holes was not there. Respectfully, I don't have nothing against Denver Broncos defense because they're good. They actually came in ready and prepared, but I think we kind of not underperformed. We kind of underperformed in the running game on the offensive line.
Right.
Now, what I'm glad about is this. The pass protection for the offensive line was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to even lie to you. It was pretty good. Jimmy Garoppolo, 76.9% of the completion of his passes, 20 of 26, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think it was 2 touchdowns.
It was both of them to
Jacoby
the law firm Jacoby's and Myers.
A law firm. I see. There you go. There you go again, Willie. There you go again, man. You something else for real. You something else. But yeah, so my glad was like Jimmy Garoppolo on the offensive line. That's one. Number 2, Jacorian Bennett. That guy is a dog. And I've been calling it ever since we drafted him out of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
That man had he was second in tackles behind Nate Hobbs.
Yeah.
7 tackles for 7 solo. And
Yeah.
Nate Hobbs had 12 tackles for 8 solo. That's at the cornerback position, even though that those 2 PIs, I thought it was BS, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 PIs was BS. But outside of those 2 PIs, Jacorian Bennett made me glad that we actually, as a possibility that we might have a shutdown corner on the opposite side of Marcus Peters.
Oh, Marcus Peters, yeah.
And an honorable mention for my glad. I have people will be mad at this, but Trayvon Merrick, and I'm gonna tell you why. 3rd down situation for the Denver Broncos. He gets a key tackle to get that offense off the field. Something that the Raiders don't do on defense is get offenses off the field.
Right.
In crucial games. We let them run up and down the field in 4th quarters. But Trayvon Merrick was able to come up and make a stop and not let them get the first down. I was glad with that. Sad. Number 1, Jacoby Myers. And I'm going to say why. The injury is going to suck not to have him in week 2. He is officially out for the Buffalo Bills game.
Oh, man.
So now, going back to your point, is it Hunter Renfro's time?
It's got to be.
So, so for me, Jacoby Myers' injury, the way I was live when I saw it, that guy Kareem Jackson should have been escorted out and ejected from this game. Should have been.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jacoby Myers injury made me sad. What else made me sad was Josh McDaniels made me sad. Josh McDaniels made me sad because we are down in the red zone, and you only give it to Josh Jacobs once in the red zone.
Yeah.
We had a illegal formation with DeAndre Carter.
Mm-hmm. Stupid penalty.
Back. Jimmy Garoppolo fumbles the ball on a quarterback sneak.
Yep.
I'm not understanding how we not. And then he throws an interception in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Why we're not getting the ball to Josh Jacobs in the red zone? I'm not understanding it. So Josh McDaniels, your play calling in that situation, because I think your play calling was pretty good up to that point and a little bit after that as well. So for me, Josh McDaniels in that situation in itself, I had questions. While we're passing the ball more than we're running the football, with the number one running back in football and Josh Jacobs only touching it once. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't really have any honorable mentions for sad, but that's just my opinion on mad, glad, and sad. What was your thoughts on mine, man?
Yeah, it was pretty good, and I actually mirrored a lot of the things that you said. I was actually already thinking and had written it down in preparation for the show. The Jerry Tillery one, but the Masterson one was huge, and then of course, not being able to get off the field on third down, that made me I think that made me mad and sad at the same time, because again, we're talking about Patrick Graham.
Right.
Okay. We're talking about Patrick Graham. We're talking about practice. We're talking about Patrick Graham again. And then again, the miscues in the red zone inside the 5, particularly when he fumbled the snap, like you said, and then he throws the interception. All he had to do was just throw it away, excuse me, to get the 3 points. So totally on board with you with those facts right there that you mentioned.
Yeah. So that's our mad, glad, and sad. I just had to do this real quick. I hope it works.
It worked.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure it worked. This is my first time using it, and yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out how to get my own audio on here. So, and it's crazy because this little thing right here, I'm like, I was listening in the mic, and I'm like, why is my voice changed? This thing has a voice change where it could be slower. I can have a higher pitch. It's this thing is so powerful. It doesn't make any sense. And it shoots up at 4K. So it has a video.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's like, you know what the Elgato is, right?
I don't think I know what that is.
Well, it's like a Elgato is like something like, it's like a streaming thing where you have you could shoot up you could use your actual DSLR camera and plug it up into there so you can have that high quality. Mm-hmm. It's something like that, but it has more things attributed to it than that.
Oh, okay.
All in one. So pretty dope. Okay. Commitment to excellence. The most outstanding players of week 1, offensively and defensively. You want to go with this, Willie? Or
I want you to go first this time.
Okay. Week 1 offensively, before the injury, I'm going with Jakobi Meyers. I think the boy was balling out until he got hurt. If you look at the numbers, he had 9 receptions, almost over 100 yards and 2 TDs before the injury, shredding that defense, shredding it. So I'm gonna go with Jakobi Meyers offensively, and I'm gonna go with honorable mention of Jimmy G. Jimmy G just played well. He took what the defense gave him. And like you said, we were happy for him to get back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go offensively there. Defensively, I'm still going to be where I'm at with it. Jacorian Bennett just had an outstanding job overall. I'm going to go with Jacorian Bennett. And then I'm going to just go with Mad Max because the guy that man, like, he just has a motor. It's like you have an ex-girlfriend that never stop. I'm going to get back with my ex. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to show up at his house. I'm going to play on his phone. I'm going make fake accounts on Instagram and Twitter and follow him from them so I can watch him. That's what Max Crosby is. He's the ex-girlfriend that you don't want to talk to anymore. He gets on your nerves on that offensive line. So yeah, I'm going with Mad Max. I'm going with Jacorian Bennett on defense, and offensively, I'm going Jakobi Meyers and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, my commitment to excellence, and I only got one for each. And Jacorian Bennett, you're right. We may have found something with that kid on the back end, and it's just like we talked about in the last show. I mean, for us to potentially say that the strongest part of the Raiders' defense is the secondary, I don't think we could have said anything like that about them since Charles Woodson was around. And that's what 02, the tuck game year.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Jacoby Myers as well. I think that the chemistry that him and Jimmy G had or already have is going to be big, and he's going to be missed this game. Devontae, you're going to have to really do your thing as the number one to get open. And luckily for a Bills defense that is not that great, even though they have a very good secondary, I mean, they'll give up some yards. And then on defense, I got to go with Mad Max because that one drive where he just single-handedly dismantled everything and threw them into a 3rd and 30 when he got the sack, and then he blew up the screen pass. Actually, he got the holding penalty, then he got the sack, and then he helped blow up the screen pass. So Mad Max, man, and without his big homie on the other side and Chandler Jones, by the way, will Chandler be back this week?
For what I've heard on the injury report, I haven't heard anything about him coming back.
Okay. So
I haven't heard nothing.
So without his big homie on the other side, and for him to wreak havoc like that, it kind of was reminded me what it was before all those other guys on the opposite side got there. Mad Max just doing Mad Max things. So I got Jacoby, and I've got Mad Max as my commitment to excellence players of week 1.
Okay. Sounds just like familiar to us. What's going on, Raider Twine? What's up, my brother? What's up, my man? Yeah, but it's time to get into your true or false. It's time to get into it. Let's talk about it.
True or false, man?
True or false, man? Ooh, I'm ready for this one this week. I'm prepared this time. So yeah.
Are you? We
gonna see. I think I'm prepared. Absolutely.
All right. So yeah, and it's not gonna be 10 questions. I think that's what the sounder says, something to that effect. We're not gonna do it's not gonna be 10. It's probably gonna be about maybe 4 or 5. But here we go with that time right now. Here we go.
Hi, and welcome to our True or False quiz, in which I'm going to make 10 statements, and all you have to do is to decide whether they're true or false.
All right. So he has the answer. Me, the big homie Darion, has to answer true or false. True or false? We are concerned with the chemistry between Jimmy G and Devontae after the first game. True or false?
False. And the only reason I say false is because he has 6 receptions for 66 yards. But if you have to look at it, both of them didn't play in preseason. Jimmy G did, but Devontae haven't.
Yeah.
So is there no concern? Even though like last year he got up to a good start with Carr because he had that chemistry with Carr for so many years. Practicing with each other. This is the first time playing with Jimmy G. The more the years go, the more the weeks goes on, the chemistry is going to get better. So no, that's a false. I don't have no concern at all.
All right. True or false? Patrick Graham kind of showed us Patrick Graham tendencies in this first game. True or false? Do we really think, or we are not concerned about seeing a complete and total repeat of what we saw last year in the second half of games? True or false?
I'm gonna say false. And one reason why I'm gonna say false is because I think Patrick Graham drafted the defense that he wanted, but free agency, he couldn't get the defense that he wanted. But if you look at the Denver Broncos, we bend but don't break. If we could keep that bend, don't break defense and still be a little bit above that 20 overall range, and just to let y'all know, we didn't give up more than 300 yards on defense.
Yeah.
It was only 260. So that's an improvement in itself. So I'm going to say false.
And we did a great job against the run. So
tackling was a big one. Yes.
Yeah, I think that was huge as well.
All right, Leo. What's up, man? Shout out to my co-host from Nothing But Raider Podcast. What's up, man?
What up, Brody? Hey, can we get him on here?
Leo, if you ever want to come up on the show, just let us know, man. We'll have to left you on next week, and if you're up for it.
Yeah. I actually just started following him on Facebook. So yeah, man, I appreciate the following.
If you want any Raiders custom jerseys, that's your guy.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that actually get the jersey I have 36. I got Spotlight on the back of it. He does custom jerseys, man.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to hit him up then because
Any throwbacks you need, he got.
oh yeah. Definitely. All right. One other thing too about your comment about Patrick Graham and defense. Yeah, the fact that we gave up less than 300 yards in that game, and we did very well against the run and very well tackling as well. The biggest thing that I'm concerned about, and I'm going to say this, the concerns of getting off the field on third down. Am I still concerned about it? I am absolutely, definitely. That is definitely a 100% true, because you cannot allow third down efficiency the way that they did. Even though it was only 5 of 11, it's the timing of it all. And to me, even though it was under 50%, it needs to get closer down to maybe 38 to 42% in order for me to even begin to feel comfortable. For you, true or false? Even though they gave up 5 of 11, you weren't as concerned about it because of the timing of it. True or false?
I'm gonna have to go false, because I'm gonna say this. First thing that we saw with the Las Vegas Raiders, we don't make adjustments, and adjustments was made in that second half, and we was able to win. We able to steal the game with Jimmy Garoppolo's run, but will Jimmy Garoppolo have that run if Trayvon Merrick didn't get that tackle?
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that in that situation. So I'm gonna have to go false here, because I'm kind of like, I didn't believe at first in that first half. I think that we had that first game jitters, and I think we kind of settled in the second half, and I don't from the box score, I don't think we even gave up a lot of points in that second half, if I'm not mistaken. I could definitely go back
in the fourth quarter, and that's it.
You said how many was in the fourth quarter?
Just gave up 3 all second half, and that was it in the fourth quarter.
Half. So I'm gonna have to go false. I'm not concerned. And this will be a challenge. And if we come back to the show and it's different from Buffalo, then I might have to go back and say true. But if we could keep doing what we're doing against Denver, and we could do this against Buffalo, and they go look at that Buffalo game from Monday night, if we can repeat that, we will win the game. But we're gonna get more into that as well. But I'm gonna have to say false on this.
All right. One more true false. The Raiders averaged only 2.1 yards per carry. This with the leading rusher in the NFL from last season. If we do not see an improvement on that this game against Buffalo, upwards to 4 to 4.2 yards per carry, you're going to start to get a little concerned about our running game. True or false?
See, this is a tough question, because God damn it, Willie, here you go, man. here you go, man. But this it could be true and it could be false in a way. But I'm a lean a little bit towards true, because it's not because of Josh Jacobs. Ken's offensive line open holes. Now, if you have to understand that Greg Van Roten is on this line now since Brandon Parker went down. So he has to get accumulated with everybody else on their offensive line to keep that chemistry going. And this is why I say false, because I think if that same offensive line get the chemistry week after week after week, then the holes will start to open up. I feel like with the offensive line, it's all about chemistry. And once you have chemistry, and I think they have a full week of chemistry with Josh Jacobs now, instead of what he did when he had at Denver. Now he has a full week, and we coming off of a Bills team that is coming off of a short week with a bad defense that I really thought that they could have won that game against the Jets. But hey, but I'm gonna lean more towards a true, but I could say if I wanted to, I could say false as well. So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing for me.
Yeah, and it's okay for two things to be true at the same time, even if it's true and false, because I'm going to push back on you just a little bit about the line opening up holes, and in particular or specifically for Josh Jacobs. It's not, to me, from what I've seen and the way that we know Josh plays and runs the pill,
right?
It wouldn't be as a big of a necessity for the line to open those holes, because what makes Josh Jacobs so special is his ability to be evasive. He always is making at least one or two people miss, even when he's bottled up in the backfield or bottled up at the line of scrimmage. And we saw a little bit of it on Sunday. So that part of it doesn't bother me as much. Now, when he is spelled and Amir Abdullah has to come in, or Zamir White has to come in, or I'm sorry, the kid White has to come in, or even Brandon Bolden, if he actually happens to get a couple of snaps in on offense, they don't have that elusivity. Is that a word? It is now. They don't have that elusiveness. I know that's a word. They don't have that like Josh Jacobs does. So that's my two things can be true at the same time portion of the statement about true or false. All right, I'm done. That's all we got for true and false.
I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback on that, right? Because let's be honest. Without an offensive line, nothing works.
Well, yeah, that's of course that goes without being said.
And I feel like just imagine if the holes open up and he gets to that second level, that's when the break and the tackles start to happen. Yes, he has the footwork to break tackles before the hole starts to open up. If you get a free hit at Josh Jacobs, you're just not going to get it. But just imagine if those holes would have opened up in the Denver game. I think that game would have been different. We probably would have scored more than 20 points. He probably would have had 2 touchdowns if he would have able to open up those holes. But hey, I get it though. I get what you're saying as well. You know, he's just that elusive that he could get around the corner. He could run up the middle. He could do all tackle. I get it. I absolutely get it. So
that is our true at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely, yo. Let's look forward to week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. Now we saw them play on Monday night and they coming off of a short week. We going into Buffalo. We going into their home opener. That crowd is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cold, just to let y'all know. So the weather will not be a factor in Buffalo. It's going to be nice and sunny in Buffalo, New York. So we're looking ahead to it. And how you feel going into this game? Like what is some key factors that the Raiders have to do to win this game on Sunday?
Number one, I don't like the 12 o'clock start for me and 1 o'clock for everybody else on the East Coast.
Oh, I love the 1 o'clock.
Well, yeah, that means
as far as the East Coast person, I love it.
Well, yeah, you're gonna love it because you ain't got this, whatever. But I'm thinking
that's not true, because if I do a 1 o'clock game, then I could take a break and then I could do the Sunday night game instead of me doing a 4 o'clock game and turning right back around to set up and redo everything for a Sunday night game. So it gives me some time to get me a break. So yeah.
Okay, this ain't about you though. This is about the Raiders. All right, I'm
just saying. Like, I mean, it gives me a break. It gives me a break after the Raiders win, and I can celebrate it.
Okay, I like that better. Way to clean that up, man. You got a public relations career in your future.
Sunday night football, but I can celebrate it instead of doing a 4 o'clock game, and I can't celebrate it, and then I have to go turn around and do a Sunday night football game.
Okay, so I feel that. Now, I don't like that. And even though the Raiders have done pretty well going to the East Coast over the last several years, is that really even shouldn't be a thing anymore. But what must the Raiders do? With that being said, the Raiders must get out to a fast start, not just on offense, but on all 3 phases of the game. Right. We already know that if whoever wins the toss, or let me put it this way, because I don't know what the Raiders would do, but most teams these days, if they win the toss, they're deferring to the second half. So if the Raiders lose the toss and then they have to go on defense first, we gotta get off the field in 6 plays or less.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yes.
Or to keep that crowd out of it and to have better field position in terms of turning or getting them off the field in that amount of time. That's just one thing. And of course, all the other things, don't turn the ball over, keep the penalties down, all the stuff that we already know that has to happen.
Right.
I think that one right there for me is a critical piece, especially going on the road and the raucous crowd. This Bills team is coming off of a loss. They're expected to go deep into the playoffs again, and you have an opportunity to hang them to 0-2 while going to 2-0 on your yourself. And then you have a game up in the division, and now you have a game up in the conference. So now you're 2-0 in the conference. So it's all out in front of them.
Yeah. So What other like? So that's in your question of what must have to happen to Raiders to pull off the upset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I, yeah. There's more to it than that. I mean, yeah, pressure Allen, and this defense has not forced any turnovers in the last 100 years. It seems like Josh Allen has the most.
I'm sorry.
Josh Allen has the most turnovers in the NFL since he's been in the league. And why is that not being talked about more? I don't know. We need to talk. Any Buffalo Bills fans in the chat, or anybody that knows a Buffalo Bills fan in the chat, we would like for.
I know a few Buffalo Bills fans, and I don't understand why like the media doesn't talk about it or anything of that nature. So
yeah,
if we pressure Allen and we can get the turnovers, then we win this game.
We win this game, hands down, and we have a very, very, very good chance in doing that.
I'm gonna say what must happen for the Raiders to pull up the upset. I think it's just a collective. All three phases. Offensive line has to play better against a good front against the Buffalo Bills. I'm not gonna lie, Matt Milano is one of the top linebackers in football, but not having Von Miller really helps us at the same time. Yep. So if our offense can score more than 17 points and we can score at least 24 and our defense gets to Josh Allen, that's how we pull off this upset. I love it. Keep Jimmy Garoppolo clean. If you've seen it in week 1, when you keep him clean and you give him a pocket, he will shred you through the whole field. He will dink and dunk. He'll go a little bit over the top. He takes what y'all give him. So I have to agree to all three phases though. And another thing, we can't have 10 penalties for over 100 yards.
No,
against Buffalo, just can't. So we got to clean up those minor mistakes as well. But if the Raiders get this win, do our expectations begin to change, or blah blah blah?
Easy for you to say.
So, if the Raiders get this win, do our expectations begin to change for the remainder of the season?
Real quick, but let me jump back real quick. Chandler Jones is out for this game. He is out.
Okay.
And then number 2, there's familiarity between Jimmy G and the Buffalo Bills from his time with the Patriots. Just let me throw that in there too.
Yep. Okay.
So again, will our expectations begin to change? I mean, I would have to say they would have to, and just because of them winning these 2 games, not necessarily because of this is what we expected, but now this becomes the part of the Raiders that is the narcotic that is the Raiders. Because after a solid win against the Broncos, and you go all the way across country for your second road game of the season, and you beat a team that has that quarterback and that wide receiver and that linebacker and this running back out of Georgia who's a speedster, and that tight end and Dawson Knox, who doesn't get talked about enough as well, you go all the way across country and you beat that team, our expectations are going to change or begin to change by default. That's my opinion.
Now, I can agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
And our expectations will be at a default, but I do not want the media talking about us. I just don't. I don't want the media to talk about the Raiders, because if you notice, when the Raiders start winning and the media start getting it, that's where everything starts to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being completely honest there. But just by looking at the Buffalo Bills, and we could go across, mind you, we already in West Virginia. We was in West Virginia practicing this week. We didn't even stay in Las Vegas. We was in West Virginia the whole week for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I feel like they're getting themselves prepared for a overrated Buffalo Bills team. People can say what they want. I don't care what y'all say. I think they're overrated.
Frauds.
Overly rated. That offensive line does not block for Josh Allen. Josh Allen don't know how to slide. He throws interceptions. Only reason why he's really winning in this league because of the weapons around him. And that's Stephon Diggs, Kincaid, Dawson Knox, those guys. But I just feel like our Raiders will have higher expectations if we beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo in a home opener. You know how great that would feel to go into Buffalo and beat them in a home opener at that? And after the way they lost on Monday night, be down 0-2, everybody's going to be all over it.
Yeah.
They're going to be all over it.
Yeah.
So,
yo, check this out.
I think it will change. I think our expectations definitely will change, though.
Yo, check this out from J.A. Raider. Check this out.
Chandler Jones will be out for the season. Chandler Jones called out Mark Davis that doesn't see him playing the snap at all.
We need to confirm that.
But I think that's just his opinion.
Okay.
I don't think that is confirmed.
Okay.
Because I think if it was confirmed, Ian Rappaport probably would have reported it. Or, I usually follow Michael Garfalo, Tom Pelissero. They would have reported that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I have them on Twitter, so the notifications be going off crazy in my phone when they actually tweet something.
Right. So J.A. Raider, is that your opinion, or did you actually hear that somewhere?
I think that's his opinion.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, excuse me. This game, if we come out of this game 2-0 or 1-1, I think we would be cautiously elated for 2-0, and at 1-1, we would be elatedly disappointed.
You know what? I'm gonna have to disagree.
Go ahead, talk to me.
I have to disagree because I feel like this when it comes to the Raiders. If we lose, I want to lose being competitive. I think our team loses in blowouts and it makes it disappointing. Mm-hmm. If we can go in there and fight all 4 quarters, if we lose by a field goal, I am absolutely fine with that because we fought to the end. But I'm not. We're not going to go 16-0 or 18-0. That's what I'm saying. It depends on the loss. If we give up about 38 to 40 points on defense and we just checked out and did not give a shit about the game, then that pisses me off as a Raiders fan. But if we fight in all 4 quarters and they kick like a 65-yarder, what the hell can we do about that? I'm just saying. We
right.
had the game tied. They kick a 65-yarder and win the game. What can we do? So even though we 1-1 within 2 weeks, it doesn't take us out the playoffs. We still in playoff contention after week 2. We a 500 team. We'll be a 500 team both ways. So I get it. I get it though.
I guess my only retort to that would be, well, we had a lot of those leads last year. We finished 6-11 last year. And of those 11 losses, if we would have just won or split, so 6-5 of those 11 losses, we would have won the division and been in the playoffs last year.
But that's what happens when you start off fast and don't finish to the end. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. No adjustments was made in the second half of any of those games. We was very conservative on offense, and our defense couldn't stop a cold.
And they couldn't get off the field.
That's what I mean. We couldn't stop a cold. We couldn't stop coronavirus if we wanted to. I'm just saying. Throw it out there.
Yeah, that's very true. But as a long suffering, which is one of the fruits of the spirits to all my Christian friends out there, and even if you're not a Christian friend, it's still a fruit of the spirit. Long suffering. And as a long suffering Raider fan, when we saw what we saw in 21, okay, and then we saw or what we expected going into 22 based on what happened in 21. With all those losses, doesn't matter whose head you put it on, it still was gut-wrenching, heartbreaking. I almost got put out the house for throwing my remote at one of those games we lost. My wife looked at me upside my head and said, "No, no, we are not doing that. You need to cut that out. And I couldn't do nothing because she was right. I actually had to leave the house. I was so upset. And I don't know which one of those games. It might have been that Jacksonville game. I don't know which one it was. But look, man, I can't keep having these Fred Sanford type mini heart attacks every 7 or 8 minutes. You feel me? When it comes to this. So the expectations are going to rise by default. I'm just going to leave it there.
Willie, brother.
Yes, sir.
You just dissected the shit out of that.
Wait a minute, D.
That is the wife? Oh, that is the wife, T. You spoke the wife right up, bro.
Oh my gosh.
You spoke the wife right up. You done started something.
Yeah. Well,
wait till you get off this live. She gonna have some words for you.
Well, no, because she just did it in front of the whole world, so everybody now knows.
She's not doing it like politically correct on the world, but behind the scenes it might be a little different. I don't know.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah. But
man.
But let's get into the score prediction for this game. And you kind of diluted onto certain parts of this prediction. And your wife is in the chat, so you better make this prediction right. I don't know what you're gonna pick, but I mean I have my prediction, but I'm gonna go first. Come on, let you take the last because
yeah, I appreciate that because I need to pray on this a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, you probably need to him and I. Yeah, but I like our chances against the Buffalo Bills. I really do. If Marcus Peters playing on Stephon Diggs, that's a matchup that I actually want to see on the defensive side of the ball. I do like James Cook on Buffalo, but I think if we can stop the run, with him, I think we'd be fine defensively. It's just them tight ends that we really have an issue with, and we saw it in the Denver game as well before the one guy went down. Mm-hmm. Tight ends are a real big part of the Buffalo Bills with Kincaid and Dawson Knox. So if we could get that down pack, I think we'll be good. We force turnovers on Josh Allen. That's going to be a big, big thing for the Las Vegas Raiders. Offensively, we got to run the ball effectively to get Josh Jacobs going. Devontae Adams got to get going all game. And you know what? Michael Mayer got to get some catches.
Yes.
You got to spread the ball around. Jacoby Myers is not going to be there in this game. Just not. So if I am the Las Vegas Raiders, hopefully you could throw in Trey Tucker instead of getting them off the inactive. Get them in. They don't have no real film on Trey Tucker outside of preseason. Throw him in there. He was inactive last week. Make sure he's active this week. Get him accumulated in his offense. Get Amir Abdullah accumulated. You got to spread the ball out. Your main guy that you had a connection with in Jacoby Myers is not here. Mm-hmm. So Hunter Renfrow got to get involved. This got to be wide receiver by committee. Mm-hmm. It just has to be. Even though, no, I'm wrong. It's Devontae Adams, then it's wide receiver by committee.
Yes.
So I just wanted to iterate that. But I am going with the Las Vegas Raiders to go to 2-0. And I am going 24-19. 24-19 Raiders.
All right. Let me clear my throat, as Dougie Fresh once said.
I'm sorry. It just ringed in my head.
It may. You know what? Sometimes we just got to go with it. I am concerned about Jacoby Myers being out. However, I do believe that is going to be the opportunity that someone like Hunter Renfrow, Trey Tucker, and even DeAndre Carter on some packages can take advantage of. I would love to see some more 2 tight end sets to get Hooper and Mayer into the middle of the field and soften up that back 7. I think Josh Jacobs is going to bounce back against this defense. I believe that Devontae Adams will have a minimum of 10 targets. Now, how many catches he's going to have is going to be up in the air. I think the defense actually improves from last week in terms of being able to get turnovers and even get off the field. I am going like you, and just like Patrice said, we ain't doing that around here. But what we going to do is we going to celebrate being 2-0. You know why? Because just like you said right here, win or lose, we ain't doing that. But what we going to do, we going to celebrate. I got the Raiders 27, the Buffalo Bills 24.
Mm-hmm. Talk your talk, Willie. Talk your talk, man. I love it. I love it, man. I do. Mo Green. Do the Raiders have fair application? Because I need a team to rep before midseason. He's a Commanders fan, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, the Commanders, they got Chase Young coming back this Sunday. I wouldn't give up on the Commanders just yet.
He been giving up on them until they changed the name. Once they changed from Redskins, Washington football team, to the Commanders, he been gave up. I'm going to tell you this a quick story real quick before we go into our final wrap up. When he was a part of the Spotlight Sports Network, when I had it, when the Redskins was that bad, he went outside, he called us on a group chat, and he burnt the flag. Literally burnt his Redskin flag. He said, I'm so done with this team. But that was under Snyder's administration. I'm just saying. Under Snyder's administration. So, and that's we're not saying that highly either.
Yeah. And Mo, that's the reason why you should look.
You want to go from Dan Snyder to Mark Davis? Be my guest.
Well, no, because whoever the ownership group is now, they seem to have injected
Harris, Magic Johnson, and somebody else. But Joe Harris, which is the Philadelphia 76ers owner, and Magic Johnson.
So they seem to have definitely injected a new type of energy into that franchise, and you can kind of feel it all over the DMV area. Shout out to Kelsey Nicole Nelson listening in with KNN. I got to get her on, man. She's all that in terms of what's going on in sports in the DMV. But I think, Mo, we accept applications from all other fans except for those in the AFC West, the New England Patriots, and the Dallas Cowboys. So
at
you
this
good?
Point, it's the whole AFC for me.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess I'm a little bit more lenient.
The whole AFC and then the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that too. So yeah, there you have it, man. There you have it.
So, final thoughts, man. Raiders play this weekend. Man, what are you actually doing, man? I mean, if you want to come hang out in the chat with me, I'm gonna be live for it. I'm doing a play-by-play, and if you want to see the reactions where I'm so bipolar with this team, when I'm like, yes, let's go, and then I'll be like, what are y'all doing? No, I'm so bipolar with these play-by-plays. Anybody can tell you it's really bad with me, but it's gonna be. Listen, it's still be a fun chat though.
Yeah,
it'll be a fun chat. So
hit me in with the link, man. I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing it through here, then I'll probably do it through OBS. I'm not too sure yet because I'm still working out some kinks on some things, but I'll definitely let you know. Absolutely.
All right, bet. And final thought for me, man, is look, just win, baby. Just win.
That was your final thought last week. Make something up. Do something different.
I'm gonna do like Russell Simmons when at the end of Def Comedy Jam, he was like, say something different. He would always say the same thing. I'm gonna be the Russell Simmons of the CTE podcast. Just win, baby.
Nah, you Raiders fans are crazy. Y'all go to games, it's sports bars, 1,000 feet. It's more than that.
Raider fans are the illest, man, for real.
They are.
I wrote an article about that. I wrote an article about that to get on with a blog out of Cleveland.
That part too.
What's that, Will?
Is a Raider fan ain't a walk in the park either. So it's pros and cons to being a Raider fan.
It's a walk in the park, all right, but the park got landmines everywhere. Let's get out of here, man.
Let's get out of here, man. And make sure y'all follow me on all social medias at NBR Pod 1 and let them know where they can find you at, bro.
Right there on the screen, man, at ShakeBack Media Group, spelled out on Instagram, SHK BKMEDIAGRP on Twitter. And I've dropped our YouTube channel, or dropped our link in the chat several times. Please go there and subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 before the end of the season. And I know you guys are the Raider fans. You're going to help your boy out because we family. So let's go.
Absolutely. Let's go over there and get him to 1,000 subscribers on ShakeBack Media Group on all social media platforms. Even if you put it in the search, ShakeBack Media Group, you're going to see that face right there that you see on this screen. you're gonna see it. So thank y'all for tuning into another episode of Commitment to Excellence Podcast. Everyone enjoy the Raiders game at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Time for him, and I think it's 10 a.m. West Coast time for everybody that's in Raider Nation. I don't know what it is overseas. I don't care about I'm not gonna say I don't care, but I'm gonna say, yeah, I don't know the overseas time either. But
doesn't apply. NA doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply. But Raider Nation is like Spartans from 300. Yes, we are. We're like the Game of Thrones. I get it. Yeah, it's definitely that. But thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode, man. We really appreciate y'all. We'll be back Friday, same time, same place. It's the Commitment to Excellence Podcast. We'll see y'all again. Just win, baby. Let's go.